Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing MomFlex App, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, MomFlex App offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive, because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you. MomFlex App, because you're never alone.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. Stories of triumph, stories of grace. Single parents with dreams to chase. They said we'd break, they said we'd fall, but look at us now, we're standing tall.
Hey fam, welcome back to Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. I'm your host, LaFortune, and this space, this movement is all about showing up for ourselves, our communities, and our children, even when life feels like it's balancing on a thread. Today, I want to speak directly to those of us raising kids on our own. This episode is for the single moms, the solo dads, the guardians, the grandparents, the kingfolk who step up when others step out. You already carry the emotional, financial, and spiritual way of parenting solo, holding it down at home, at work, in the doctor's office, in the school meetings, in the midnight worries. You are doing it all alone, and I see you. And if you are like me, you have also felt this deeper pull, this calling, not just to raise good kids, but to raise conscious kids. Kids who kids who give a damn, kids who ask questions, kids who can look injustice in the eye and say, "Not on my watch." You want to raise children who not only survive but show up in the world with empathy, with voice, with power. Here's the real talk. How do we actually do that when we are just trying to make it through the day? When we are the only one packing lunches, holding it down at the job, making sure the homework's done, and still finding ourselves crying behind closed doors once they are finally asleep. When our cup is empty, but the world keeps asking for more. That's what we are here unpacking today. We are talking about how to plant seeds of justice, awareness, and activism in our kids without burning out in the process. We are diving into real-life strategies, honest reflections, and stories that hold both the struggle and the sacred. Because this journey isn't just about raising children, it's about raising change agents, even when we feel like we are running on fumes. So wherever you are, tuning in from the car, your kitchen table, or the laundry you have folded 3 times and still haven't put away, this conversation is for you. Let's talk about how we raise the next generation, even when we are healing from the past. Let's get into it, shall we?
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our life.
Activism starts at the kitchen table. Activism doesn't begin with a bullhorn. It doesn't start on the steps of City Hall or in a protest march, though those are powerful expressions of it. More often, it begins in the quiet, unassuming spaces of our everyday lives. It begins with values that are passed down not in grand speeches, but in simple conversations, consistent choices, and the way we treat others when no one is watching. These values take root in the in-between moments, the car rides, the dinner table talks, the bedtime reflections. It is in those spaces that we plant the seeds of compassion, justice, and awareness. Let's make it tangible. Imagine you are cooking dinner and your child asks why you always reach for the same brand of rice or snacks. You could brush it off, or you could lean in and say, I buy from this company because they pay their workers fairly and they take care of the environment. Right there, in a moment that seemed like nothing, you just connected a routine grocery choice to values like equity and sustainability. Or maybe your child comes home and tells you a classmate is being teased for wearing the same outfit all the time. That's a teachable moment wrapped in empathy. You don't need a degree in child psychology to handle it. You just ask, why do you think that happens? Then maybe follow up with, how could we show kindness instead? And if you feel led, take it one step further. Go through your closet together and find clothes to donate to a shelter or community center. Let your child be a part of that decision. That's advocacy. That's action. You didn't have to rally in the streets. You didn't have to leave the house. You didn't even need to download a single worksheet. What you did do was make justice part of your child's daily rhythm. You show them that doing good isn't reserved for the loud or the famous. It's a lifestyle. Raising socially aware kids doesn't mean having all the answers. It means staying open. It means letting curiosity lead the conversation and conversation lead to action, however small. Because those small moments, they are the foundation. They shape how our kids see the world and, more importantly, how they move through it.
Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing MomFlex App, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, MomFlex App offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive. Because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you.
Reading is resistance. You don't need to be a scholar, historian, or social justice expert to raise informed kids. You just need to be intentional. And one of the most powerful tools at your fingertips is storytelling. Stories shape how our children see themselves, others, and the world around them. They open doors to empathy, curiosity, and critical thinking in ways lectures and rule books never could. Books, movies, and shows give us language for the things that are hard to explain. They introduce big ideas like fairness, identity, and resistance through characters and experiences kids can relate to. And the best part, these conversations don't have to be heavy or intimidating. They can start with a simple question like, what do you think about that? For young children or younger children, picture books are powerful. Titles like Hair Love by Matthew A. Cherry celebrate Black joy, pride, and the special bond between a father and a daughter. Or Anti-Racist Baby by Abraham X. Kendi, a bright, bold bird book that introduces the basis of equity and fairness in language even toddler can begin to understand. When you read together, you are not just bonding, you are building a foundation for how they will see race, difference, and justice. For twins, graphic novels like New Kids by Jerry Craft go deeper. This award-winning story follows a Black student navigating a mostly white private school, wrestling with issues like macroaggressions, code switching, and belonging. It's funny, honest, and layered in ways that invite real conversations. After reading, you might ask, have you ever felt like you had to change who you were to fit in? And just listen to what unfold. Even pop culture can be a portal. Watching shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender with your kids can spark thoughtful discussions about colonialism, power, and resistance. Don't worry about making it into a lecture. Just stay curious. Ask, what do you think Hank should have done? Or why do you think the Fire Nation acted that way? Let the answers lead you into deeper reflections together. Because when we engage our children with media that reflects the complexity of the world, when we invite them to think, feel, and question, we are not just entertaining them. We are teaching them how to be informed, compassionate, and courageous. And you don't need a PhD to do that. You just need to be present, curious, and open.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our
Activism through action, even on a budget. Raising activist kids doesn't mean you need to donate thousands to a cause or travel to protest every weekend. Small, accessible actions matter. Create care kits together. Grab socks, granola bar, water bottles, and toiletry from a dollar store. Assemble care packages and keep them in your car to hand out to unhoused individuals. Participate in local cleanups. Many cities host free communities events. It is a chance to show your child how taking care of the earth is an act of activism too. Write letters to leaders. Once a month, sit with your child and write a letter or email to your local representative. Let your child choose the topic. Whether it's school lunches or climate change, give them the language to ask for change. You are not just teaching advocacy, you are showing them that their voice matters. Lean into your own journey. Here's the realest part of all this work. You won't always get it right. There will be the days when you miss the moment, when you are so mentally stretched, emotionally drained, or physically exhausted that all you can do is survive. There will be times when you lose your temper, say something you didn't mean, or realize later that your own words carry a bias you didn't catch in the moment. And you know that too. And you know what? That's okay. Because this isn't about perfection. Activism, parenting, healing, it is all messy, human work. You don't have to be flawless to raise socially conscious kids. You just have to be willing to be honest, to stay open, to return to the table even after you have walked away from it in frustration. When you messed up, and you will, because we all do, circle back. Maybe you snapped at your kid after a long day, or you said something that didn't reflect your values. Don't let shame shut down the moment. Instead, come back and say, you know what? I have been thinking about what I said earlier, and I didn't like the way I handled that. I want to do better. Can we talk about it? That kind of vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. It models accountability. It shows your kid that it's okay to be imperfect and that the real work is in the repair, not the performance. Because when we own our missteps, we teach our children something deeper than any textbook could. Growth is a lifelong process. Activism isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about admitting when we are wrong and being brave enough to begin again. So give yourself grace. Let your kids see you learning out loud, because that, more than anything else, is what teaches them how to rise and thrive, not just in theory, but in life. I know what it's like to lie in bed at night and wonder if you are doing enough. I know the ache of questioning whether you are giving your child the tools they need to thrive in a world that doesn't always feel fair or safe. I know what it's like to stretch every ounce of yourself thin, to parent through grief, through scarcity, through days when your spirit feels heavy and your body is just running on autopilot, to show up while carrying unspoken pain, while managing bills, isolation, fatigue, and still trying to raise a child who believes in something bigger than themselves. And yet, somehow, you are still here, still choosing love, still choosing presence, still choosing to build something better. But here's what I also know deep in my bones. Every honest conversation you have, every story you share, every time you pause to explain something hard instead of brushing it aside, that's legacy work. Every time you help your child name an emotion, recognize injustice, or show kindness when no one's watching, that's activism. Every choice you make to live your values, even in the smallest way, that's resistance. And I need you to hear this. You are doing it. You may not always feel like you are making progress. You may not get applause or validation, but your effort, your presence, your willingness to keep showing up, that matters more than you know. You are the storyteller, the truth bearer, the one laying bricks for a future your child can stand on. So even when you doubt, even when it feels invisible, notice you are raising more than just a child. You are raising a generation. And you are doing it beautifully and perfectly, powerfully, one moment at a time. I want to leave you with this quote by civil rights icon Ella Baker, an organizer, a truth teller, and a quiet force behind some of the most powerful movements in our history. She once said, "Give light and people will find a way." And I want you to hold that close, because even on the days when you feel tired, when your patience is thin, when your spirit feels stretched, when you wonder if what you are doing is making any difference, you are the light. Even when you feel dimmed, even when you are just trying to make it to the next moment, your love, your values, your effort, your presence, that's what lights the way. Not just for your child, but for your community, for the people watching you, and for the generations that will follow. Keep shining, my friend. Keep choosing love over fear. Keep having the hard conversations. Keep planting seeds even when you don't know when or if they will bloom, because they will. And when they do, it will be because of you. Thank you for joining me today on Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. If this episode made you feel seen, if it helped lighten your load or gave you something to sit with, share it. Pass it on to another parent, another caregiver, another soul walking this road beside you, because we are not meant to carry this work alone. And don't forget, your work matters, not just when it is visible, not just when it's polished, but especially when it's quiet, unseen, and deeply human. So until next time, keep rising, keep thriving, and keep raising kids who will change the world. You have got this. I believe you. Ciao now.
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. Stories of triumph, stories of grace. Single parents with dreams to chase. They said we'd break, they said we'd fall, but look at us now, we're standing tall. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. We push through the stigma, defy every step. They don't define us, and that's a fact. A village of love, a future so bright. Hand in hand, we own our life. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we